Can I get a sound check in the chat, please? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. All right, well, Wayne. Appreciate you. You know what we do here on Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. Yeah, we did that. Another week gone by, child, and we're going to talk about some things that has been in the headlines and just tapping in with y'all, doing a little peek in about this and about that. Some of the things are on the screen. There's more things. A lot of things going on in the world. So while the algorithm tries to do what the algorithm is supposed to do, play a little bit of music, get the vibe up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then get into some things. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. And if you do, don't go too far. Okay? We don't want to miss out on all the action. But yeah, let me put on something to bring up the vibe, child. You know what that is. If you know what it is, you know what it is. We ring bells over here, baby. Let's go. right, all right, all right. Yeah, we ringing our bell over here, baby. Yes, we are. Ringing bells. Do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. Ring it, All right, y'all. Peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back to Goddess Dawn Speaks, aka the $1 Trillion Goddess, baby, or the Queen of Info, whichever you prefer. I'm here with a bunch of stuff to talk about that happened between last Friday and today. You know, I likes to tap in. Have we taken a deep breath yet, people? In through the nose and out through the mouth. Make sure you are tapping into yourself before you even start your day, people. But I'm here to remind you. Shout out warriors. Okay, I see you. Wow, Wayne, Faye, my two and my true. What's up, Queen Keish? I see you. All right, I don't know where everybody at, but we finna get this show going. All right. I want to actually start with my boy, Afroman. Yeah. The judge has lost his damn mind, child. We're going to get into this right now. But first, hold on. A little homage. Ooh. Yeah, you know the song. Because I got high. He's actually going to be here in a couple weeks in LA. I might go see him, child. I might just go do that. The problem is going to be finding somebody who wants to go. I might have to go by myself. But anyway, let's get into what's going on. I got a couple of updates. You know that he and his lawyer whooped that ass in court. Was that last week or the week before? But they won. Okay. He was being sued by 7 sheriff deputies. I covered this last week very extensively. But yeah, they tried to take your boy down because he made some videos they didn't like about them, and it was his freedom of speech, and he won the case. There were 13 counts against him, trying to get $4 million out my boy. Okay, but he stayed cool throughout the whole process. He and his attorney did that. Okay, now the judge, he didn't seem too happy about the situation at all. He did not. He was hating throughout the whole thing. He was very much prosecutor friendly. Matter of fact, I feel like he actually interfered with the prosecution throughout the whole trial. It was a 3-day trial, trying to give the prosecution a leg up. Thankfully, though, the jury saw it differently. So let me I'm gonna let this guy tell you what happened. This is I guess he's on YouTube, but I got this off of Reddit. And he's gonna break things down.
So it's Sunday, March 22, and it's time for 2 quick Afroman updates. First off, is there's a lot of stuff going around about that the deputies and former deputies involved in suing Afroman from the Adams County Sheriff's Office are going to appeal. And that's been driven by the fact that Robert Klingler, their attorney, filed a request to the court for a copy of the jury selection video. So I put a copy of his request on screen right now. So I saw this. It got filed in the docket. I'm not quite sure why it got put in the docket. I requested video. It didn't get put in the docket. But he requested video, and the request got put in the docket where everybody can see it. So any event, so I contacted him saying the Watchdog Wire already has the video you want, and it's already published online, and this is where you can get it. And so he and I went back and forth a little bit. I asked him about interviewing any of the people, and he sent me what's labeled an attorney statement following the jury verdict in Cooley versus Foreman, Afroman. And I put that on screen, and, you know, so I think, I don't know who's all seen this, but this statement, I highlighted one line in there, but let me read the whole statement. The sheriffs brought this.
So he's going to read this statement from the prosecutor of the case. And it is so telling. When you hear this statement, it really just lets you know the cahoots were in cahoots. Okay. Yeah, the song is awesome, Faye. He's been revived. Okay. Afroman actually lives again because of this case. Not to say he was unalive, but I'm just saying, you know, his career wise, and as far as his public platform goes, like I wasn't thinking about Afroman. I hadn't really ever thought about Afroman, even when the song was out and popping. I thought it was a funny song. I enjoyed the song. Probably was smoking while I was listening to the song, but here we are in 2026. Nobody's thinking about Afroman, although he has let us know he's been touring, he's been making his money. I believe he's a millionaire. So, with that being said, oh, they can't stand this type of man. Ooh, the haters, the ones that don't like the brown, the melanin, they don't like this man. And we're going to listen to what the prosecutor's statement was following the verdict.
Case because Mr. Foreman posted widely circulated online statements about them after the execution of a lawful search warrant at his property that were false and damaging to them and their families. They turned to the courts because they believe the judicial process is the proper way to resolve disputes and protect reputations. The jury has now rendered its verdict. While the result is disappointing to the deputies and to me, we respect the role of the jury and the process that led to this outcome. The evidence at trial showed these deputies were carrying out a court-authorized search warrant as part of their official duties. They did not seek public attention or controversy. They came to court for the same reason any citizen would, to defend their good names and protect their families. For more than 3 years, the deputies and their families have endured harassment, threats, and public false accusations. They brought this case in the hope of putting those false accusations behind them.
Boo fucking who? And you, deputies, are a prime example of fucking around and finding the fuck out.
As with any case, we will take time to review the verdict and consider any appropriate next steps. I remain proud to represent these deputy sheriffs. They are honorable public servants who have served their community with professionalism and dedication for many years. And our hope now is that this matter can fully come to an end and these deputies and their families may move forward with some peace. So I read the entire statement. I highlighted that one line, and with any case, we will take time to review the verdict and consider appropriate next steps. Well, I talked to one of the plaintiffs, and he told me that he was not going to be part of any appeal at this point. They have time, so even I would say to somebody, you can change your mind, but that there was no interest in an appeal. There was a verdict rendered. And to his knowledge, no other plaintiff is currently considering appealing. It could happen. They have time. They have their rights to an appeal if they want to do it. But the statements being made online that they've already appealed, that they've decided to appeal, those are false. Those are false. I thought they were false because there's no actual appeal filed. People say they filed an appeal. Well, there would be a record of it then in the docket.
People saying that online, oh, he's filing an appeal, he's filing an appeal. It's wishful thinking. They can't stand this man winning. They can't take it. So if they're not getting what they want, they're going to create a narrative that fits what they want. And that's lying. And he's actually dispelling the lies. And I appreciate it.
Appeal was filed. And the word I got from one of the plaintiffs that I had the opportunity to talk with was that at least at present, the idea that any decision's been made to appeal is false. And as far as it concerned that individual, they were of the mind that they were not interested in appealing. I want to hit one other thing. And
they don't want to appeal because they don't want to be humiliated any further. Imagine appealing a case where the whole 3-day trial, you were exposed, I'll say. You were exposed as being a buffoon or buffoons. You were exposed harassing this man, whatever tips they had or intel, insight to raid this man's home. It wasn't sturdy. It held no substance. There was nothing there. And then they didn't want to pay for the damages. So he's a creative. What did he do? He made videos, he made songs, he made asses of them, he made fun of them. They didn't like it, and they sued, tried to get money out this man. They tried to humiliate this man. I'm wondering who put them up to it. Did they all just sit around at the lunch table and decide to do this together, or was there someone else in their ear who didn't like what they were seeing and decided, you know what, we can take this to the law. We can beat him in the courtroom, and especially with Judge, whatever the judge's name is. I don't even know the judge's name. But they lost. They tried it and they lost. So yet again, so there's no appeal, but yet the judge feels like, you know what? No, we're not done with this. Let's punish him.
And I believe that Judge Hine is a horrible, horrible judge. He's known as a joke. The Enquirer did an article about him. I don't think, the way he ended the trial, I'm going to do a piece on the way he ended the trial, I thought was very unprofessional. But he had a judgment entry that got put in. And at the end of it, it's getting some attention online. I'm going to hit it too. Is I put up the front page of it, and now I got the second page up. And so he orders that the cost would be divided between the two parties. It's highly unusual. The prevailing party usually doesn't pay the cost. The party that is not prevailing would pay the cost. So in this case, the plaintiffs would pay the cost, not Foreman. Okay, but look at this line in here: based upon the relative merits of the case, okay, and the justiciability of the claims, costs are divided one half to the plaintiffs and one half to the defendant, Foreman. Hine is an ass, okay? And he's a terrible, terrible judge that should not be on the bench. He's embarrassment. He was an embarrassment in Pike County. He was an embarrassment in a case I was involved in. He's an embarrassment in a current case I'm involved with, in my view, and if I'm allowed to have that First Amendment or protected view. But the notion that he basically makes this statement that, regardless of the jury, I've determined as the judge that this case, should be divided half-half based on the merits of the case. What an ass. What a horrible representative of justice is Jonathan Hine. I hope to God Afroman does some videos on Jonathan.
Jonathan Hine is the judge. Hold on. Yeah, this guy.
I hope to God
he don't even look right.
Afroman does
something's off with this man. And he says something too. I'm gonna let this video play. It's only a little bit left to it, because he gives some insight into how these judges who are supposed to be retired are still out here yielding their injustices. It's supposed to be justice, but it's injustice because they can't give up their power. You're supposed to be retired. Okay.
Videos on Jonathan Hine. I've already helped him draft a song that is Because I Got Hine. I was going to stand for the First Amendment, but I can't because I got Hine. And Jonathan Hine should just be exposed. By the way, this whole thing of the way the visiting judge program works in Ohio is an abomination of these retired, unaccountable, aged out judges. And it should stop, it should change, and it should be an open discussion. But Jonathan Hine splitting the cost is absolutely asinine. But also I wanted to hit is there is no appeal pending. There is no decision been made by anybody. And at least the one person who was a plaintiff that I talked to told me that they were not considering appealing, and they did not believe that anybody else was.
Okay, there it is. There it is. Who is this guy? He's on YouTube, and let me give him his credit. Who is he? I don't know who this is, and I don't want to click the link because it's going to take me somewhere else. But maybe I'll post his video. I'll post a link in the description after this. So yeah, Afroman needs to just keep doing what he's been doing, child. I wouldn't give them the time of day aside from suing them in civil court. Now, I would turn around and sue them at this point. That's why they don't want to appeal too, because they're afraid, as they should be. But shout out to Afroman. Yeah, he did that. He and his lawyer. His lawyer really impressed me. And it takes a good amount of work to impress your girl in the courtroom, okay? So, but let's move on. I want to move on to Suge Knight, y'all. Suge motherfucking Knight. Well, Suge, they say he's gonna put it all on the table. He's gonna, and I'm thinking this has to do with maybe he doesn't know how long he's gonna be with us. Okay, he still has a bit of time to do from that. How much time did he get? 28 years. But yeah, he's got a book coming out, y'all. Here's the book cover. Your pain is my joy. Yeah, your pain is my joy. That's what he's calling the book. Apparently, it's coming out in August of this year. And I'm definitely adding this to the book club list, child. We are reading this in the Warrior Books book club. Yeah. Now, I'm sure it's not for kids, so don't go getting all excited, kids. But we adults will be indulging. And he better tell it all. Now, let's see what Rolling Stone has to say about this. They said Suge Knight to release unflinching memoir detailing Tupac's murder and brawls with Diddy. Your Pain is My Joy will be released in August. Okay, by Cheyenne Roundtree. This is published March 24th, 2026. Okay. Oh, shoot. Do I not have my subscription intact? Hold on now. Hold on. Hold on, child. Okay, hold on. They want me to put my email in. What's going on? Okay. All right, this thing is frozen. It's pissing me off. Okay, get out of here. 1 second, y'all. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, it went away. Give me 1 sec. This is so annoying. This is so annoying. In the meantime, let me just do this real quick. Thank you for your patience. Did all that, and then they had a nerve to take me off the story. What the hell? Hold on, let me search. They are not making this easy. Here we go. All right. Now, Suge Knight, one of the most formidable names in hip hop, as the co-founder and CEO of Death Row Records, will be sharing an unflinching look at his life in his upcoming memoir, Your Pain Is My Joy. The 352-page memoir offers a candid and unapologetic look inside the mind of the original rap kingpin. According to the book's description, it will be published on August 4th by the Simon & Schuster Imprint Gallery Books. Simon & Schuster, one of the big five, baby. You know, Suge Knight is not going to put a book out without getting a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. And I hope they held him to a standard of transparency. So they say Knight is a central and polarizing figure in hip-hop's 50-year history. Alongside Dr. Dre, he co-founded Death Row Records in 1991 and helped bring West Coast rap to the global stage, where superstars Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg rose to the heights. And we all know all of this, right? They say he was once described as the most feared man in hip-hop. Knight was known to be an intimidating character with his towering build, affiliation with Compton Street Gang Bloods, and having well-documented history of violent encounters. Now, the book promises that Knight won't, in quotes, shy away from the controversy that has followed him his entire life, including addressing the infamous rumor that he once dangled Vanilla Ice over a balcony in an effort to get him to sign over publishing rights to Ice Ice Baby, and his blowout brawls with longtime rival Bad Boy Records founder Sean Diddy Combs. He'll also revisit the events surrounding the East Coast, West Coast hip hop beef. They need to change that to the Death Row Bad Boy beef, because the coast, and because they did all of it. The labels, Suge and Diddy, their labels, the gangs they employed on each side, on each coast or whatever, or maybe just on the West Coast. Sound like they each have gangs on their side, rival gangs. But it wasn't East Coast, West Coast. I love Biggie. Biggie was here. I celebrated his music, favorite rapper. And I wasn't alone. So I hate when I see that. But anyway, he's supposedly going to give his version of events of the night that Shakur was gunned down on the streets of Las Vegas, September of 1996, which led to the rapper's death. Says, mind you, they said his version, right? I think they know what's up. Knight wrote his memoir while serving a 28 years, prison sentence for voluntary manslaughter stemming from the January 2015 death of Terry Carter. Okay, so he's been in 11 of the 28, and still a long way to go, baby. Who Knight mowed down with his car. Now, supposedly they were friends too. So that's the skinny on the book. I'm definitely adding this book, Cha-Cha. Hey, girl, happy Friday. Yeah. I'm going to read it as best I can read it. But yeah, I'm definitely going to add that to the book club. I'm going to definitely see what he has to say in this book. Speaking of the book club, real quick, we're reading Gloria Velez's book. Hopefully you guys are tuning in or catching up in the replay. It's a lot of book to read. To be honest, I wouldn't have read the book had I known in many chapters. I should have looked first, but I'm not a quitter. So I'm not going to give up on the book. It's a good book. It's a good read. It's interesting. But she also talks a lot about the book on YouTube. And had I known that, she did a 2-hour Vlad TV interview, which kind of is the book, honestly. But the book is a good read. So we're not going to abandon the book. But it's in the playlist. I'm going to continue reading tonight. I think we're in chapter 31. And yeah, give us, join us. Check us out. So let's move on to Keefe D. Oh, Keefe D, look at him. Old Man River. That jail time be doing numbers on these guys. Out here, thought you was running the streets. running the streets of LA, okay, back in the day, doing all kind of nefarious things for $1, you know, and now look at you. May we please discuss 50 donating the earnings from the documentary to organizations only in Shreveport? Oh, I didn't know anything about that. Okay, I'll try to remember. Let me make a note. 50 Cent donating. Okay, and he's donating earnings from the Diddy's documentary. That is hilarious. All right. Keefe D. So let me see where this story is at. I have stories open in all types of tabs. I believe it's Instagram. Okay, let me move over to Instagram real quick. Keefe D, child. I know he wouldn't have written that book, put that book out if he had known he was going to land in this type of hot water, child. So the update on Keefe D is that justice in Tupac Shakur's murder case has been delayed once again as the criminal proceedings against Dwayne Keefe D. Let me put this picture down so you can see. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis faces another setback. Okay, dismissed. On March 10th, defense attorney Robert Draskovich formally withdrew from representing Davis, reportedly citing disagreements over retainer payments. Judge Carly Kearney approved the request and scheduled a March 31st hearing to determine who will take over Davis's defense. The change is expected to slow down the timeline of the closely watched case. Details surrounding the financial dispute have not been disclosed, leaving Davis without legal representation as the case moves forward. The withdrawal adds to a growing list of legal shakeups for Davis since his September 2023 arrest. Two earlier attorneys, Carl Arnold and Michael Pondulo, who had worked alongside Draskovich, also stepped away from the case following an altercation involving Davis at the Clark County Detention Center. Oh, he's still a problem. He's still a wild boy. Prosecutors accused Davis of playing a central role in organizing the fatal unaliving of Shakur in Las Vegas nearly 3 decades ago. Authorities who point to statements Davis allegedly made in interviews and other media appearances about the crime. And also, let's not forget his book. Davis and his defense team have pushed back against the allegations, arguing, well, there is no defense team at this point. So Davis is arguing against the claims. And he says they're overstated and unsupported by solid evidence. David is currently incarcerated at High Desert State Prison following the jail fight while awaiting trial. Proceedings are scheduled to begin on August 10th. All right. Well, they're asking here, do you think the case will end with a conviction or a mistrial? I don't know about a mistrial. Hopefully not. Like, somebody got to pay. Okay. Somebody has to pay. And it's just interesting to me how this is happening. Supposedly it's going to happen in August. And then Suge's book is coming out in August, where he's supposedly going to tell what happened to Tupac in the book. I mean, make it make sense. It's all crazy. But I want to move on because I still got a bunch of stuff I want to talk to y'all about, y'all. Checking off my list. I want to talk about, can we talk about Drewski? Yeah, we're going to, cha-cha. I will find that. Can we talk about Drewski? Funny Man Drewski makes record-breaking skit that surpasses 40 million views in less than a day, and they mad. And who is they? Because you see on the left, that is actually Drewski in makeup portraying Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, who has, been making headlines since her husband's death because she has apparently stepped up in his place. And, the likes of Candace Owens have been going at this woman and trying to take her down from off this pedestal that everybody's put her on. But let's see what Drewski done did, child, with this platform of his. Let me take the picture down so we can see what's going on. Wait, hold on. He's a fool.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pup cup. Organic? Yes, everything organic.
Four, 3, 7. Oh, are you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your tongue.
I just knew he was gonna pass gas. I was like, please don't fart. Okay, so he is making hella fun of these people and they don't like it. So this is how he responds to the backlash though he's been getting, because they try to get him canceled.
It's small. Despise the day of small beginnings.
I don't know if I could play this music, but this is, I guess this is father. He said, I'm half German. F what you talking about. I'm, take me down.
The question for you. Yes. I'm actually intrigued to know, because when I ask Americans where they're from, they just say America. But like, do you know like your
real
your
background?
roots?
Damn. I think my dad, I think our last name is like German.
No way.
Yeah, our last name is German, Des Borders, but it's pronounced like Desbordes.
Oh,
like
right.
Desbordes. Yeah, like the S's are silent, but I think it's German. It's a German last name.
Do you know what you need to do then?
Like my dad even has green eyes, and then the rest of his family on his side all have green eyes. I didn't get it. They probably skipped me.
Yeah.
Maybe my kids. We'll see.
No, that's it. A black person with green eyes. That's an automatic cheat code.
I wish he would have gave it to me, man.
Okay, Drew. So he goes on to talk about the fact that his heritage is not what you think it is. So leave me alone. I just wanted to point out the fact that he is on these people. These skits he's doing, it's not even a race thing, honestly. He did something on I think one of the Atlanta pastors. He's doing a lot of calling folks out. Okay. And I actually appreciate it. I'm not the biggest Drewski fan. I've never really found him honestly that funny. And when he got named in that lawsuit with Diddy and them, I was like, ugh. Not to say it's true. I don't know if it's true or not. It just made me not like him even more. But I want him to keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing, Drewski. Okay. Keep making them numbers. Now, one white woman he should not talk about is Miss Rachel. Okay. Now, y'all know my gran loves her some Miss Rachel. You put Miss Rachel on, she will stop everything she is doing to hear this lady and whatever she got going on. I don't know what kind of spell she has on these kids. First, I was a little side-eyeing her, a little side-eye, because I was seeing things like, don't let your children listen to her. She's the devil, and I'm just like, why? What'd she do? Well, I have gotten a confirmation of my own that she's definitely somebody that we should be messing with. And I'm going to tell you why. What she's doing. She is not only entertaining the children, she's advocating for the children. Children's YouTube star Miss Rachel speaks out after video calls with detained kids. Pushes to shut down the Texas ICE facility. So apparently there were video calls with children to Miss Rachel, I guess, or Miss Rachel opened herself to be able to talk to or entertain these children who were detained by ICE. But it says that she found out. Well, let me read it. It says children's educator and YouTube star Miss Rachel is stepping into a major national conversation, and she's not holding back. In a recent interview, Miss Rachel, real name Rachel Accurso, revealed she's actively working with lawyers and immigration advocates to shut down the Dilley Immigration Processing Center in Texas, where Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has been detaining children alongside their parents. The popular kids content creator says she became involved after learning about families being held at the facility and has since spoken directly with detained children through video calls, describing the experience as unbelievably surreal, emotionally difficult. She says during one call, a 9-year-old child told her he wanted to leave detention to attend a spelling bee, a moment that has since drawn widespread attention as concerns grow around conditions inside the facility. Ms. Rachel also raised alarming claims about what children have allegedly experienced inside the center, including reports of moldy food, limited education, lights staying on at all times, and delays in receiving medical care. These are claims she shared and have not been independently confirmed in the report. Still, she's standing on her firm stance, even addressing criticism head on. She said, "I am political," adding that advocating for children's care and equality is something she believes shouldn't be controversial. Her comments come amid growing national scrutiny of the Diddy facility and broader immigration enforcement policies, as advocates and lawmakers continue to debate the treatment of families and children in detention. Okay? Somebody said, we love Miss Rachel, and Miss Rachel loves all the kids. And yeah, they shouldn't be detained with their parents. Why are they in jail? Why are the children detained in prisons with their parents? They shouldn't even be detained in prisons. I mean, I get it. Okay, immigration issue, it's an illegal thing, but it's not. There's so many more important things, or more criminalized criminals should be in those prisons. It's just annoying. So yeah, there's that. Let's move on. Can we talk about what's going on with the TSA situation? So, the partial government shutdown is affecting the TSA workers. These people they're working for free. I mean, they're not getting paid. So I want to play audio of this TMZ broadcast real quick. Some audio from this. Hold on. Where is that damn TMZ video? Hold on, child. I had it all ready to go. I can't play it on here, but let me do this. And this one is, it just had a different title. Okay, we're good.
A way to pay TSA officers. We want to highlight how this is impacting people.
My last paycheck was February 28th. It was $13.53. So March's rent didn't get paid. April's due now.
Be right back. It's going on vacation for 2 weeks for spring break, and yet they have not figured out a way to pay TSA officers, to fund TSA, so that to relieve obviously the long lines around the country at airports, but more importantly, to pay the people who are actually working to keep us safe.
For weeks and weeks and weeks.
41 days now.
As a collective, as a body, Congress has proven utterly incompetent to do their jobs. Incompetent that they can't reach some agreement, some compromise to pay these people who are losing their houses, losing their cars, losing their livelihood, becoming sacrificial lambs so people can have a political gain.
So we want to actually highlight how this is impacting people, the TSA officers who are trying to figure out how to keep their lives going without getting paid for now 41 days. And so we're going to be joined by a woman named Rebecca Wolf in just a moment. This is a little bit of what she is going through, and then we're going to talk to her a little bit more. She posted this. It's very clear she and all TSA officers are struggling.
It's the emotional and the mental
breakdown that this shutdown causes. I watched an interview, and when I heard an officer say, "We're expected to come to work," and smile in the faces of these passengers, while the whole time in my mind, I'm thinking about ways to off myself. Why is that not a discussion? Why is that not being focused on?
Oh, it does need to be focused on. For Rebecca and for all these officers who are struggling so much. So joining us.
So I got teary-eyed every time I think
get
about
it.
it.
Yeah, we
get it.
totally get it. So why don't you explain, just, we want to hear the personal side of this. How has this affected your life?
Me personally, it's devastating. It's caused medical issues for myself. Just the stress of it all. I can tell you, a lot of people don't know this. You know, I started right after 9/11 with the private companies, and I was homeless at that time with children. And then I transferred over into the TSA, and this has been the career that has been able to stabilize me and move forward. And now this is the career that could cost me everything, and having to start over again. And it's stressful. It's hard to think about, but it's something that's always there at the back of your mind. I'm looking at selling my vehicle to try to come up with money. My last paycheck was February 28th. It was $13.53. So March's rent didn't get paid. April's due now. You got car insurances, trying to feed the kiddos and make sure the lights stay on and the water's running. It's exhausting.
Rebecca, are you supporting, it's not just yourself. I know you said the kiddos. You have, I know, 2 grandchildren and 4 children. Is everyone living with you, or are you supporting all those people by yourself?
I am.
What?
I have 3 adult children that live with me. 2 have been actively trying to find work. I have a child who has medical issues and cannot work. I have a 16-year-old son in high school, and then my 2 grandbabies.
So you are also your union leader. What are you doing as a union other than just watching the carnival in DC? Are you lobbying? Are you contacting representatives? What are you getting back?
We are out to our congressman.
They can't do nothing. She has a heartbreaking story. I don't understand why she's taking care of all these adults and her grandbabies too, just on her TSA salary. These people don't make a lot of money, from what I understand. Maybe 50 to 70K, somewhere in there. I don't know, but it's really messed up what's happening. I don't understand. And the president, y'all's president, should be doing something in their favor, or the Congress, whoever can do something. They need to do something. Guess who is trying to do something? Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's trying to do something. He's actually trying to help. Let me see what he did. Actually, he did something here. Tyler Perry. I think it's on X. I have to figure out where the stuff is at before I can bring it up. Hold on. Or is it IG? Tyler Perry. Hold on, child. I gotta find the dang story. Or do I need to just Google it? Hold on. Sorry about this. I have so much stuff saved here, child. Tyler Perry. Okay, let me just look it up. There we go. Okay, this is from the Post. They said that Tyler Perry showed up at the Atlanta airport with cash for struggling TSA workers, but he got shut down. Okay. They said that he showed up at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport Thursday, ready to hand out a significant amount of cash to struggling TSA workers during the government shutdown, but federal rules stopped him cold. Federal rules, the very federales that are, to me, criminally keeping them working, enslaved work. The billionaire media mogul and Atlanta resident wanted to personally ease the financial pain for agents who have been working without pay since February 14th, as lawmakers have yet to come to a resolution amid the Department of Homeland Security's shutdown. Yet as quickly as the generous idea took off, it was grounded by strict federal rules. TSA workers aren't allowed to accept gifts while on duty. So all he had to do was set up a GoFundMe or something for them and put it in there. Each person or whoever, I don't know, there would have been to do it. There still is a way to do it. They say that the outlet reported that Perry's presence alone gave a major boost to morale among exhausted workers. And a DHS spokesperson told the Associated Press that accepting gifts at screening checkpoints is strictly off limits for agents. So he was basically just going around trying to give people cash as they were working. Yeah, that's not really the way to do it, Tyler. In my opinion, Tyler might have been doing this for a good look. You know, I don't know what else would be the reason to go about it this way. Now, it says still, Aaron Barker, president for American Federation of Government Employees, said that donations to TSA agents can be funneled through worker unions and distributed that way. Now, I wouldn't trust that they were going to get the money that they're supposed to get. He said that the would-be handout is just the latest example of Perry stepping up in a crisis. He previously shelled out $1.5 million during a 2025 shutdown to help Atlanta families cut off from SNAP benefits. Security lines at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport have stretched for hours, they say. And there's a picture of it here. They said that people are, in some cases, snaking all the way to baggage claim, with wait times routinely hitting 5 hours. Travelers have been told to show up 4 or 5 hours early just to make their flights. Yeah, that's crazy. The situation on the ground has grown increasingly desperate. TSA officers stretched to the brink have reportedly resorted to selling blood or sleeping in their cars just to survive as missed paychecks pile up. There are other jobs, people. Well, I mean, not to say it's so easy, but like, come on. Airport operations across the country have felt the strain, with delays and disruptions becoming the norm. Relief, however, may finally be on the horizon. Donald Trump announced Thursday he plans to sign an emergency order to get TSA agents paid, blasting Democrats in a fiery Truth Social post while promising swift action. And I hope they get back pay as well. Now, of course, Tyler Perry shows up, and then the president decides, I want to do something. He said, I'm going to sign an order instructing the Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen, to immediately pay our TSA agents in order to address this emergency situation and to quickly stop the Democrat chaos at the airport. So he puts everything on the Democrats. This is not this is a nonpartisan thing. It's not an easy thing to do, and he's only saying that because they're not probably budging on something he wants, which is why this has ended up being a shutdown. He said it's not an easy thing to do. He's going to do it. I don't know what else to say about this man. Y'all, president he's fucking crazy. You're back, Cha-Cha. How do I feel about singing scenes in TP's plays? Oh no, I don't do the plays and I don't do the movies, child. I tried 1 or 2 of his movies. I never went to any of plays. I can't do it. I can't. Sorry. I can't do it. Thank you for the disclaimers, Wow Wayne. Monica, Congress should not be getting paid nor access to medical benefits during government shutdown. I agree. My Governor Newsom spoke out on them. And TMZ actually put up something. They said they want people to send them pictures of any Congress people going on vacation, that they're posting anything that shows that they're out here living life while these people are suffering. They want to make it, they want to blast them. Cha-Cha, he should have asked for their Cash App or something. I believe he just wanted good press. I agree. Yeah, there could have been a different way to do that. He showed up flaunting his cash in front of, obviously cameras are going to catch him at the airport. He probably had his own people also filming. So Tyler Perry, nice try. Nice try. Can we do better when we want to really help people? Can we just really help people? How about that? Let's move on. I want to move over to Jay-Z, child. He popped out. Jay-Z haven't done an interview in I don't know how long. But he sat there in his stupid cap talking all kind of nonsense, like he's running the culture, like he's running anything because he's Jay-Z. What did he call himself? He said, I'm Hove. He literally said that. Oh, let me tidy up on this before we move on. Exactly. TP people could set up a website to disperse money. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I said. A GoFundMe or something. Like, come on. So Jay-Z, child. Jay-Z and his dumb hat went on this guy's platform. I don't know who this guy is. There's a bunch of clips. Let me find some of the clips that I have here. Fucking Jay-Z, man. I used to love Jay-Z. He was one of my tops as far as rappers go. Even in personality wise. It's not sharing the page no more. Hold on. Share the screen. Okay,
to talk a little.
Let's see.
To talk a little bit about this idea of like you said earlier, like the things that you do for the culture, the ways that you put on, the ways that you try to protect and move forward, but kind of the pushback that you get sometimes about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People had this law for the struggling artists. That's a mind game. What we would call back in the day for tricknology. It was like, no, I'm not going for that. Like, no, I make art first. And then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I didn't take it. No one. That's not
really, Jay. Why would you even say this? Because you lying. You are lying.
My reputation. That's not what I do. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people or taking advantage of, the loopholes in the system or some wrinkle in like a capitalist structure. That structure exists. And I just see the world for what it is, not for what I want it to be. I'm a realist, not an ideal. It's not idealistic. People speak about the world how they want to see it. You're never going to win like that.
This is weird to me that he comes out. He's saying
talk a little bit about this idea of like you said.
Okay.
You said something just now, though, about you pushing independence, right? Kind of like in the spirit of Prince. When you embody that, do you feel like you are kind of setting a mold or leading a charge for like what the successful Black man is allowed to do and like breaking these spaces, breaking these confines?
Yeah. I even want you to take that out of your vocabulary.
Take what?
Allowed. You know what I'm saying? We're not allowed to do anything. In order for someone to allow you, they have to have authority over you.
Mm-hmm.
No one has authority over us. We exist like everyone else here. No one can allow us to do anything. But that word comes from a real space. And I want to eliminate all those type of words for us.
Yeah.
Yes. So the answer to that is yes.
When you're on a mission to eliminate words like allow, like you said. Do you feel like that makes you a target sometimes from?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Who is this kid? Where did they find this guy? Oh, this is GQ magazine. He did this for GQ magazine. And where did GQ magazine find this kid to do this interview? This is weird to me. Jay-Z, you are full of shit. And who are you to try to determine everything the culture is going to do, or what the culture is, and what we can do here and there? You already inserted yourself into the NFL. He said he didn't take advantage or use people. He used Colin Kaepernick to get the role in the NFL that he has now by playing off of Colin Kaepernick's controversy, the knee bending and all that. Like, I'm going to get you guys back right with the culture. Just let me in. And he used that. He didn't do anything to help, or like, he is the least person to speak on what the culture should or shouldn't be doing. You are one of the ruiners of the culture, sir.
What's the Nipsey thing? Pray for me, y'all. One day I'm gonna have to pay for these thoughts. Real nigga.
Oh, you quote Nipsey now.
Because it's extinct. It ain't safe for me, my dog. These are real fucking lyrics.
You've come back to that a lot in the last few years. Like, the more I reveal me, the more they will kill me. Stuff like that. When you say they, like, who is that?
Whatever the threat to, however the system is set up to keep things at status quo and keep us in a position of using words like allow.
He keeps saying us, like he is, like we're all in this together, but he doesn't do anything for us. What have you done? What have you done? Let's see. I think she's gonna highlight the part I'm trying to get to, child.
You're 2025, like looking back on the last year.
It was hard, really hard. I was like heartbroken.
Really?
Yeah. I'm glad we got right to that, so we could just get that out the way.
Okay.
That whole Busby.
This civil lawsuit that was dropped, dismissed.
That shit took a lot out of me. I was angry. You don't put that on someone. Like, that's the thing that you better be super sure. It used to be like that. Like, you have to be super sure before you put those kind of things on a person. Especially a person like me. Like, even when we were doing the worst things, we were doing bad, we had those kind of rules. There was a line, no women, no kids. You hear those sayings, but those are things that I took from the street. Morals, integrity, code. Those things I took because we lived and died by that.
A few moments later.
The thing that you chose Kendrick for the Super Bowl, it's like, oh man, he's choosing the side and he's he's not.
Like I don't have, what do I have to do with that? I chose the guy that was having a monster year. I think it was the right choice.
Word.
You don't put that on someone. Like, that's the thing that you better be.
Oh, she's trying to say because Kendrick put that PDF file stuff on Drake, yet turned around and chose Kendrick in the beef because he was having a phenomenal year, and she's saying that's hypocritical. I really don't care about that because Drake can eat it too.
This nigga Jay-Z got on here and he said, let me cook up this lie right quick. I'm gonna lie. Let me pour a little bit more lie. Yeah, a little sprinkle of gaslighting. Where is my jar of manipulation? Oh, there it is. Ooh. Pour a little manipulation on that thing. Now, I could have sworn I purchased some plausible deniability. Oh, there it is. Plausible deniability. Whoop. Get up in here and cook up this lie right quick. Let me taste a little bit of my lie right quick. It's missing denial and deflection. Let me see. Denial. There it is.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the sentiment. But the rest of what he said, now they say he's child. Where is the? I wanted to really hear the rest about the Tony Busby part. That was the part, but this is where. Okay, wait. Let's see. I don't want to hear about his next album, honestly, but let me just.
We have enough negativity currently. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what I need to create currently that's gonna like fulfill me.
Okay.
and make me happy, because that's most important.
Yeah.
Right. And whatever that feeling is, will vibrate and touch people in a way with its honesty. And maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm stopping myself from just creating, trying to create something that people like.
Yeah.
Is where I think a lot of artists get jammed up.
Right. Overthinking it.
Yeah. They just try to make,
or reverse engineer it.
Yeah. Or they love the feeling of that white hot feeling of when they was, it felt new.
Yeah.
And that newness, trying to create that, is where they get jammed up, because you don't know slang, and you don't understand. It's sad. It's like it's cringy. Like, nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Make your type of music. Because you ain't doing what you saying you're doing. I'm not doing the same thing I was doing in '96. So you need to make that.
You wasn't slanging them drugs. You not slanging drugs like you was doing in '96. You slanging. You doing it in a different way, honestly.
Even when that comes to attaining wealth and continuing to amass wealth. We're talking about B-sides. One of your illest lines to me is "Face to the ceiling, race to $1 billion. Heaven on earth, will his wings still fit him?" So what's the answer to that question? Is it a constant struggle to maintain?
Your morality defines who you are. Right? It's not what you've attained. It's not a dollar amount that changes you.
Yeah.
Your morality defines who you are. Who is this guy think he is? He thinks he's moral? Do you think you're moral, Jay-Z?
And if so, what is that dollar amount? When does it start? Is it 100,000? Is it 150? Like, at what point, if it's a cutoff, if it's like all millionaires are bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 999,000, I'm good. It can't be that way, right? It doesn't make any. The system is set up against me, against us. But I'm talking about my specific struggle.
Yeah.
Everything was against me.
So he's then again says us. He keeps slipping in the us. We're not billionaires. Most of us, right? So who are you talking about? Like he said, it's me. I'm the most important here. It's all about me. And then whatever I created makes me feel good would then reverberate across the lands. He's so full of himself, full of shit.
My talent, not taking advantage of people, not taking advantage of a system, not creating tax loopholes, not just taking from other people. No,
your attorneys do that for you.
My talent pushed against all the headwind. And with that success, I've done things with my reach that I wanted to do that was helpful for a lot of people.
Like what?
And with the system that we have, what are you going to do? Because I don't believe in that the idea that someone has a certain amount of money, it defines their personality.
So when you have an example like that versus the kind of, I would say, commonplace public perception that someone would say all billionaires are bad, or no one should have $1 billion. What's the tension in that?
I got to give you the honest answer.
Please.
There's no tension.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you
See? He doesn't care because he's not being honest. First of all, good and well, you are defined by your money, because look how you're acting and talking and being and behaving. It's because you have all that money that you are who you are. You are a demonic billionaire.
You can believe what you want to believe.
Word.
People behave the way they want to behave.
Look at his, he gives evil.
You was who you was before you got here.
Was who you was before you got here. Yeah. That's the makeup of your person.
So you was always evil. We heard about you back in the day. So you saying you never changed. You're saying you haven't grown. There's more clips. I can't though. It's too much. There's a lot of other things I wanted to share, but for the sake of time, let me look up what you were talking about, Cha-Cha. Let's see. 50 Cent donates documentary to proceeds. So let's get it. Oh. Okay. I think I said Monica. I meant Monica. 726 Monica. I hope I got that right. So 50 Cent, they said, donates hundreds of thousands to 9 Shreveport Bossier area nonprofits. Nice. This happened on March 25th around 10:15 a.m. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson presented a donation of hundreds of thousands of dollars to 9 nonprofits in Shreveport Bossier area. They listed nonprofits here, and I'm sure they were very thrilled. How much money did he give? 50 Cent said he was inspired to donate after his documentary on Netflix about P. Diddy's involvement in domestic violence cases. Shout out to 50 Cent. I said I would donate proceeds to domestic violence and sexual assault victims, and I keep my word. I didn't say where I would make the donations, and I like Shreveport, he said. Councilwoman Tabitha Taylor said the moment he chose Shreveport was about more than economic growth. She said it's a commitment that he made when he chose Shreveport, Louisiana. It's nice for them to have economic development, but in that process too, we need to make sure people are whole. It says the Martin Luther King Jr. Neighborhood Association of Shreveport received $30,000. The group helps the elderly and youth get better public education and offers resources to the community. That's really nice. They say it was God sent. She said it was God sent. I mean, what else would you call it?
Shuttered businesses, burned out lots, tens of thousands of people living on the street.
I doubt if I have to introduce who this is, but I'm gonna do this anyway, just so you can have it on your live Facebook post. This is Mr. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Okay, well, this is a 15-minute video that I'm not going to play, but Cha-Cha, I agree with you. She said this is the same man who admitted he had a tape of Cassie back in the day, and instead of going to Cassie about it, he went to Diddy, and that let me know all I needed to know. Yeah, we know he ain't no innocent either. It's just kind of like one of those things of your enemy's enemy is your friend or something to that effect. It's like you like the person who was doing things that you want to do against somebody you don't like. You kind of just say, you know what, they cool for that. And that's what 50 Cent gets from me. Hey, Aisha. Hey, Mama. Happy Friday. You said this is to continue to help him. This is to help him continue his plans in Shreveport. I agree. I was thinking the same thing. Like, isn't he doing business there? He has studios he's building, or he's going to be having some big movie studio lot like Tyler Perry has in Atlanta and Shreveport. She said not to help those that Diddy harm. With that said, I'm glad that people do get to benefit from his selfishness. That's a good way to put that. Exactly. Because he could have directly given money to the victims, right? But he chose to give it to the city where they're helping to support his endeavors. It's quid pro quo. That's what they call it, right? So let's move on, child. Speaking of Diddy, let's talk about Usher. So Usher, 50 Cent trolled Usher for doing this too. Usher went public to basically defend Diddy. Where's the video?
I mean, this might be a bit controversial, but in the same way, I think many people choose to look past the reality of what our country is, the standards that we now stand on. We can't ignore the reality of the history. But in many ways, I think certain people are prosecuted and maybe not recognized for the greatness, that they offer. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, misrepresented. I'm not saying that every man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws, but I can't, with any sense of humanity, not recognize the valuable contributions that this man made for us as Black entrepreneurs, for us as businessmen, for us as people who transition, culture and ideas into something that's tangible and becomes business. So many people benefited from what he created. And I acknowledge that. And that's why I see him as legacy.
Yeah. You told Shannon Sharp you learned a lot about business during that era.
Absolutely.
What'd you learn?
Puff was a mentor, but he was like you have that really, really hard teacher, but you're watching something in real time. I think that the idea of the level of discipline that came with that time in business, especially in an era that was trying to prove itself culturally in hip hop. Now you can't turn on the television and not see the influence of hip hop.
That's right.
But the people who actually made that appropriate and are the forefathers are people like Sean Combs. And not just in the great times that they had musically, but in the idea of being able to find ways to monetize culture and create something that was not just Black or white. It was colorless. It was green. That's who I see that man as. I mean, this might be a bit controversial.
It's a bit disgusting is what it is. How dare you? Like, you just, I choose to focus on that because this is how I benefited from him. And I also am being paid by him to do this. And I also have done things myself that he's going to tell on me for because he has video of me. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing I'm being leveraged. I'm being compromised. And I need to do this for my own safety and security. Monica? Is that the right way? You said it was the first way. Now I don't remember. Notice how his eyes move, she said, when he says certain things. Yeah, because he's lying his ass off. Juti, baby. What's going on, Ma? Oh, you just got out of work. They liberated you. You free? Well, happy Friday, happy weekend. I'm glad you made it. You missed a lot. You're going to have to go into the replay, and I want to see some comments from you. But yeah, we're here now. So we're talking about Usher defending Diddy, child. Basically, and why is both him and Caresha coming out at the same time with these interviews? What's up with that? Sounds orchestrated to me. Diddy, he has his appeal coming up. His appeal arguments are coming up, I believe, next month. They expedited it for him. And I feel like this is really a campaign for the appellate court. Exactly. Usher's guilty too. Thank you, Juti. Appreciate you. Yeah. So come on, Usher. Think about your children. Like, think about the other people. Like, you're thinking about yourself. Like, I'm just going to listen. I can't be mad at him because he did this for me. You know what else he did? He went and said something about how, the things we've seen or heard had nothing to do with him. He didn't experience none of this stuff. Why was you and Justin Bieber arguing at that Oscars after party? Beyonce's Oscar after party. What happened? What happened? Yeah. What a joke. And this is insane. Look at this. Nothing negative to say. My experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been misrepresented. So here you are taking away what happened to victims by saying he's been misrepresented. Instead, choosing to remember him. It's like is he dead? You got to remember him as a great businessman. We don't need to remember him as anything other than what he's doing right now, and that's serving some jail time. That's what we need to remember him for. And then here's this one.
When someone you were connected to becomes the center of serious allegations and legal issues, how do you reconcile the person you knew with the headlines everybody else sees?
I think in life you always get put in something or a situation where you gotta make a life decision and you gotta look back and say like, what makes sense for me right now? you know, like I can love this person, but I can love this person from a distance, or you know, I can have a relationship with this person, but maybe I got to come back to it. Like maybe I got to come back around. And I think that was one of those situations.
You wrote a letter vouching for Diddy's character. And a lot of people were upset because they was like, you know, how could she do that after seeing the video with Cassie? A lot of people wanted to know why you decided to still write that letter.
I think I wrote a letter for a change man. I think that the man that I met and that I experienced was changed. I'm not going to justify some bullshit or like support some if I felt like that person was a change. And I felt like the person that I met was changed. It was a different experience. So that's why I wrote the letter.
How do you reconcile supporting someone publicly when the court of public opinion is saying something completely different?
Because if I meet you today, or if my time that I experienced with you is one way, I can only judge that person that way. So it's just like, I can't speak to nothing that I don't know of. I can only speak to the person that I met. And if I met this person that changed my life, that helped me grow, that treated me like a queen, that made me believe in myself, it's like, that's what I know. And I feel like people can have opinions, but I can only judge a person off of what I know and what I experienced. Like I can't speak on nothing that I never was a part of, that I never knew. Like I can only judge who I met. I can only judge who I was in a relationship with.
Were you afraid that they might call you to testify?
No, I never hid nothing. I don't have nothing to hide.
You seem like a very loyal person.
I am.
At what point does loyalty become a liability?
That's a good question, Charlamagne.
We got time. We can just sit here and tell you.
I mean,
meaning because you might be with somebody and at some point you realize just you even being loyal to this person to a fault, at some point you might have to cut them off because they might start bringing you down.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but also I just feel like if a person, let's just say for instance, right, I'm gonna just use this as a scenario. Imagine a person help you become a better version of yourself, or help you believe in yourself, or help you just experience new things, or it's still a positive for you. It's kind of hard to say, fuck you, you going through this shit, I don't give a fuck, like I gotta just fuck you. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very hard because it's like, I don't want to kick somebody while they down, and I don't want to just say, fuck you, you going through that shit, you gotta figure it out, because like you my friend. I have a relationship with you. I have a personal relationship with you. Like I know you. It's like family. Like we like locked in. So it's like that's a hard situation. And it's just like I cannot just turn my back on somebody like that easy.
Did being tied to the Diddy situation impact your brand in any way?
It did.
Really?
It did. Bad.
Like I'm not talking about just social media shit. I'm talking about in real life.
It did.
Like what?
It was a lot. Like I lost deals, I lost money, I lost relationships, I lost a lot. And you know, here I am.
When someone, you know, you were connected to becomes the center of serious allegations and legal issues, how do you reconcile the person you knew with the headlines everybody else sees?
I think in life, you always get put in something or a situation where you gotta make a life decision, and you gotta look back and say like, what makes sense for me right now? You know, like I can love this person, but I can love this person from a distance, or you know, I can have a relationship with this person, but maybe I gotta come back to it. Like maybe I got.
So here we go again with he made me a better version of myself. He elevated me. He did these things. I can't turn my back on him. Oh, despite the fact of what he has done to other people, which you know good and damn well you have seen, heard, and know about firsthand. I don't want to even hear this bullshit about, oh, I didn't experience that. I didn't see that. I didn't know nothing about none of that. That wasn't the person I met. Bitch, yes, he is. Okay. And you are bought and paid for. Everybody knows he was paying you. I mean, the rumor said it was $200K a month to be on his arm. And he leveraged you because at the time when y'all did link up, you were hot. You were on top. You and your city girls, you and JT, he wanted some of what you had going on. You let him in, and what did he do? He told you down, child. She just said, I lost deals, money, relationships, and that includes her co-worker JT. They fell out, and I'm probably pretty sure it had something to do with Diddy, or having to do with something was going on with Diddy. So all of these little interviews, her and Usher coming out at the same time. I'm wondering who is behind getting these. I mean, it must be PR setting them up with different people and interview platforms for Diddy's sake, so he can present these things so the appellate court, the judges can see this stuff. So they can use this. Maybe they can even try to use this stuff for his appeal. I don't know, but fuck both of them, in my opinion. So exactly, Juti, I'm with you. And yeah, Monica, I agree. Delusional as hell. So I want to wrap this up with some good stuff here, because today was a lot of negativity. But look at this. A woman 107 years old says the secret to her long life is good friends and dumping stressful men. Do you hear me? She didn't say dumping all men, stressful men. And I would put stressful friends, people in your life in general. She was featured in an interview, and she credits her longevity to strong social bonds and avoiding long-term stress, including distancing herself from relationships she found draining. Yeah, she's a centenarian. She studies often. Oh, centenarian is, I guess, people 100 and over. The people that study them often highlight supportive friendships as key well-being factors. So you guys got to manage your stress. You know, you got to get your social connections in order to lower inflammation and have a better immune function. Positive relationships and emotional balance are consistently cited in longevity research, y'all. So you see what it is. Let's not forget the frequency. Hey. They said this is on the same frequency as Ring My Bell. You know, they had to try to replace My Girl. But listen, Ring My Bell is my song, because what we do over here, ring bells. Yeah, ring bells, ring bells. Change that frequency. So yeah, the other song to listen to is Robin S. Show Me Love. Robin S. is in the comments saying thanks for the love. Yeah. This woman, she won $15.4 million after her supervisor called her entitled N-word. Exactly what he called her. And you entitled N-word. And guess what? He ended up getting sued and losing. A woman in Fresno, California, just won $15.4 million after a jury found her supervisor racially discriminated against her for years. Her name is Lakibia Kiki Wilson. She worked in the city's code enforcement department, where her supervisor, Howard Lacey, allegedly called her the entitled N-word, lazy, and a piece of shit. What? He also claimed she used being Black to benefit herself. Oh, really? Wilson filed a lawsuit in 2019 with her coworker, Charles Smith, who backed up her claims and testified that Lacey made those comments. Shout out to them. The city conducted an internal investigation and said Lacey never used that language. Oh, really? Lacey denied everything when he testified. During closing arguments, Wilson's attorney pointed out that Wilson was disciplined for using profanity, but Lacey faced no consequences. The jury took 1 day to decide the city was liable. Wilson got $15.4 million. Smith got $400,000. Fresno city officials are now considering an appeal, saying the payout could force budget cuts. Of course, they're going to appeal. Shout out to her. Somebody said entitled to $15.4 million. Okay, entitled that, bitch. This shit is crazy. First of all, the city itself having conducted an internal investigation and coming up saying that he never did it, and the judge and the jury still came back for her. Yeah, that's how we doing that. That's how we do it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Age of Aquarius. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, she was listening to some high frequency music, waiting for that jury to come back. What else good news do we have? There's good news everywhere. We got to find the good news. I think this is me, actually. You know, psychiatrists, they start talking about a new personality type. They say called an ultrovert. Psychiatrists are starting to talk about a personality type some call the ultrovert, someone who seems social on the outside but needs a lot of alone time to feel normal again. They can talk, laugh, and engage when needed, but too much interaction drains them. They're not antisocial, yet they recharge differently. It's a quiet balance between being present with people and protecting their own energy. I think that's me. Somebody said, AKA being a normal human being. Jayla Jackson and Imani Stanton have made history as the first ever Black female duo to win prestigious Harvard International Debate Award. Yes, they are 16 years old, and in 2021, they made history as the first Black female duo to win the Harvard Debate Council's international competition with a perfect 10-0 record, representing the Diversity Project. Their powerful arguments and teamwork helped to defeat over 100 teams. Shout out to them, even though it was in 2021. Who cares? 5 years ago, today, tomorrow. They did that. And the fact that they won out over 100 teams and they're representing the Diversity Project, where people would then say, oh, you just won because you know you're advocating for diversity. No, bitch, we won because we just that good. So shout out to them. Black excellence all day long. Love that. Love it. And yeah, shout out to this 14-year-old artist who secured solo show at a prestigious museum. Look at this. Look at this. I love this. I love seeing kids thrive. How talented. These kids have to be reborn into this artistry, because I know a lot of people don't understand this type of art, abstract type art, but it's brilliant. And this is a child. Look at this in action. There's another kid on here. I'm going to find him for next time. He's a designer. He's a spiritual guru too, but he's a fashion designer, and he's like the same age as this kid, going all over the world at the fashion show, at the big fashion shows every year and whatnot. But yeah, he's extremely talented. Shout out to him, and encourage your kids to pursue their passions and help to nurture them as well. And there's another one that I want to highlight, having to do with kids and what you need to be doing with them when they every night when they go to bed. Okay, let's see. Hopefully I can find it. Let me see. I have it here. Where did I have that saved at? That is, it's here on IG. So we're gonna find it. It's here. Oh, this is not good news, but well, I'll cover that in another one. This lady, yeah, she's being made an example of because she had took an abortion pill. Did you know plants could read your DNA? I don't know if this somebody, I don't know. That's another one. I don't want to do that right now. Okay, let me find. Here it is. Research shows that asking a child right before bed, what made you feel proud today? What made you feel proud today? Okay. Just for 7 nights builds an inner voice in the child that notices their own value without seeking external validation. It strengthens their brain's reward system and helps them regulate their nervous system. Okay. So you have to ask the child, what made you feel proud today, every night before bed. Now they say it was a 7-day, that 7 consecutive nights will trigger a series of neurological and psychological shifts that move them from seeking external validation to developing robust internal sense of self-worth. So imagine doing it for 7 days, and then imagine doing it forever, for like their whole life, or like, most of their life. how strong internally their self-worth will be built up. So there's more to this. They say, you should be asking open-ended questions about pride. It also forces the child to engage in metacognition, thinking about their own thinking. Training and reflection has been shown to improve executive function and create neural pathways that resemble more mature adult-like brain activity. It also strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for planning, decision-making, and impulse control. They say engaging in this ritual before bed also helps the child's nervous system relax and reducing evening anxiety. Positive encouragement and reflection have been shown to reduce cortical excitability in regions like the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, leading to better emotional stability and task persistence. By 7 days, the child begins to develop a sense of autonomy. They stop relying solely on parent praise and start building an inner voice that notices their own value, which is critical, a critical buffer against future self-doubt. Regular reflection also helps children identify their personal strengths and values, supporting healthy identity development and resilience. And this is awesome information. I wish I would have known this when I was raising my son. Matter of fact, I wish my mama would have known this for me. Okay. But I'm telling y'all, whoever's out there, you had children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, you're a teacher, or you even know people who are parents, you need to be spreading this around. Okay. Spread the news. This is on People After Anesthesia. Let me follow them, actually. I'm not even following this page. Okay, so I think I'll end on that good news, child, because why not? Well, I can celebrate my city as well, South LA. Well, I don't live in South LA anymore. I'm only a few minutes away, but I was raised in South LA. South LA, which used to be South Central, but we call it South LA, it's officially California's first ever Black cultural district. So we have a lot of things going on in the district, and yeah, home to 100 plus years of art, music, and activism. So you come to LA, make sure you look up all the things to see in South LA. Yeah, there's a new art installation I need to go see that myself. It's deep in the hood, somewhere I don't go, but I will go for that. Somebody said, you mean South Central? South LA doesn't exist. No, they don't call it South Central no more. All right, y'all, listen, you guys have an amazing I don't know if I lost y'all. I actually exited out of the damn live. But listen, you guys have an amazing weekend, rest of your Friday. I will be back tonight to continue reading Gloria Velez's book, When Silence Screamed, The Girl Who Knew Too Much. I am in chapter 31. I think we're going to do chapter 31 through 35 or 36 tonight. It's a really good read. It's very interesting. She's actually at the part where she's meeting Aaron Hall and all of that is happening. So if you want to catch up, it's go in my playlist tab, catch up on the book, or just come into the live and catch up later, child. With that being said, thank you, Faye. You have an amazing weekend as well. Love and peace and love, y'all.